on you.
Alright, so we're going to be doing a t-shirt for Patrick here. This is inspired by him. It's going to go on a small t-shirt. We're doing it in a red fabric, a red vinyl, HTV, which I think will be really cool. And I'm thinking we're going to add some text here. So we're going to add, I don't know, John just came up with a good idea for a spider pat. Yes. And then we're going to go, instead of Spider-Man, we're going to go Spider Pet.
Capital P.
I know that. You don't have to correct me on this. So we're going to go capital P-A-T. And then what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the text. So let's change the color so it's more easily visible. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to actually go through our fonts and see. One, I want it to be easily readable, and when I say readable, it's something that when we pull the vinyl out, let's see, where is it? You said you had a good font here for us. Let's.
I think it was up towards the top actually, but
I know we have a font that kind of looks like a Spider-Man font.
No, you can always quickly find one.
Yeah, if we can't find one, we'll you know, it really doesn't matter, but
that looks cool. That looks actually pretty cool. I would have gone with that.
This one?
Yeah, just make it bigger.
Yeah, so we'll go with this, and then we have
match the width of the small spider maybe, because it's gonna go on the front, right?
It's gonna go on the back, on the big.
Yeah, I think it should go
right. It's gonna go above this when we press the shirt. What?
That big spider's huge. It's going to be 12 inches down.
Alright, so we'll put this on the back. Yeah, we'll put the text on the front.
Okay, you have to flip everything too.
So, yeah. We'll do an auto rotate so it mirrors the image. We can either do it now or we can do it when it asks us to for a cut. Now, we don't know how this is going to cut because we're doing it today for the first time without a carrier sheet underneath. So, we're going to go here. We're going to go to mirror, and is it horizontal? Yeah, I always get my horizontal and vertical mixed up. So, all right, so we're going to send it over to the machine. We got to change our material type. Now we know that our heat transfer is a smooth material, and what it does is we have an auto blade. We used to have to sit there and manually twist our blade, but we no longer have to do that. Normally we would test it 6-7 times, but we know that this machine cuts really well. So we're going to hit send, and then send as is.
This has already mirrored it.
And once it's done, we're going to adjust the camera, and we will come back and show you how we weed it and stuff. So, recording?
Yeah, yep.
Alright, so we decided that instead of the red, we had this really cool gray. So what we're going to do now is something they call weeding. And it's where you pull out the negative space or the image that you're not going to use. And this is a new material. Usually we only use a brand called Sizer. And it's because it's what they call an easy weed. And it has a tacky back, so you can actually kind of line it up on the t-shirt that you're going to do. This has a tacky back too, though. When we picked up the machine, they were short on, I think it was our markers or something. So they decided that they were going to send us, yeah, those are tracing markers. What it is they can, they'll go in and they'll do a trace for us. So we got to be careful. I wouldn't weld the lettering. Alright, so when you're designing just for future reference, if you're designing a new picture with lettering, make sure you go back in, you weld your lettering, because you'll have what just happened here, where it actually cuts the lettering, and you don't want that. So this is strap. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in, and we did what we like to do when we're doing our designs is if we have multiple designs on one page, what we'll do is we'll go in and
Maybe I'll wait the little one.
We'll actually give a perimeter around each one, a box, and it makes weeding it a little bit easier. So if it doesn't cut all the way through, right now I'm just doing this so we can weed two at once. He's going to weed one and I'm going to weed one. Just so you know, this is for my son Patrick, and this was his idea because he told me that his favorite Spider-Man was Big Time Spider-Man. So we went to the old-fashioned interweb and found the Big Time Spider logo. Now, some of these designs, like this one, has a lot of little jagged edges, which is cool, but that's how it's supposed to be. So I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to backweed them just a little bit so I'm not pulling up the wrong stuff. Because there's a lot of little, and I don't want to pull the wrong thing off. So at the same time, what I'll do is I'll actually pull up the image so I can look at what the image is while I'm weeding it. And it looks like there's some drip marks here, so I don't want to pull the drip marks. And this is I wouldn't call it tedious. It's actually kind of therapeutic, because you start with almost like a blank slate, or you know, an image that's sort of there but not really there. I don't know how to explain it. I find it very therapeutic to weed out pictures, though. This is just a small step of making a t-shirt. A lot of people think that, oh, you just put the design in and then you're done. T-shirts are done. People don't know that when someone does a design for you, there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's not just putting the t-shirt in and you're done. You do your design, you gotta weed it all out, and there's actual work that goes into it.
Careful, this shit rips pretty easy.
Alright, so I was just told by John that this stuff rips pretty easy. Don't mind his language. Sometimes he forgets that this is going to be for both Sarah and Patrick watching this. This is, I think, our first joint video together, which is kind of cool. We're going to be doing a lot more tutorials on how to do different material. We have a printable material, which is really cool. But there's a lot of work that goes into that too. It's not just a print and then that's it, because nobody ever just wants a basic design. So that's something that I'll probably cover in the next video, depending on how well this video takes up. Yeah, when you do a print, a cut print, what we call is a print and cut, it's more than just a simple design. It's you can do some really intricate and beautiful colors, and it's almost like getting the effect that you would with a screen print, because you can get multiple colors in, but it layers everything for you. We're just learning about the product now, so we really can't say that it will last as long as a screen print, because screen prints have been known to last 20 years. I mean, on a shirt, to be honest with you. You've seen some of those old rock shirts that were screen printed back in the 70s, See, one thing I like about Sizer Easy Weed is it says it's right in the name. It's Easy Weed. I mean, what we're doing now is weeding out the picture. This is going to have some smaller parts, and I have a little trick for that, so you're not sitting there picking at it like this. For really small little details, like this little hole right here, you can go in with a piece of double-sided tape, as long as there's open image near it, because if you try to pull something and there's no, like a little dot in here, you could put a little piece of clear tape and pull it up. But if it was out here and there was something else next to it, you might pull the wrong image. So just be careful with that. It's actually going pretty quickly, so see how that just ripped right there, which is okay because it's not anywhere near where I'm going with this image. So I'm not gonna lie, you need to have somewhat good eyes to do this too, because if you don't, you're not gonna see where your cut lines are. If there's overhangs and bridges like right here, you're gonna end up ripping it. And see, now what I like about this is you can see all the little specks. They're all supposed to be there, except that, which I think is underneath because I have a dirty table. And that right there. Alright, so 1 second. This is the design, at least part of it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually finish the weeding, and then we'll get back and we'll show you the heat press part, which is kind of the coolest part. So what we're doing here now, I'm going to set my machine to 320. No, not before. So I'm going to set the machine down to 320 at 15 seconds.
I can't see what you're doing.
I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just setting the timer. And we're going to wait for it to heat up. But while I'm waiting for it to heat up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-press the shirt. And what pre-pressing the shirt does is it actually pulls all the steam or any moisture in the shirt out of the shirt. We'll do this while John messes with the camera.
I can't see it from sitting doing that.
It's right about there. But not only that, it pulls any kind of wrinkles or anything out, and you can actually see the tape line where the original tape was. There was glue. You want sizer, usually it's like a medium to medium high pressure. And right now this is set really high, so we'll adjust it and go until I can feel it start to have a little pressure up here. Once it gives it a little give, I'll click it down. It was counting down while that whole time. See this little timer right here? And that's my temperature. Right now it's only at 160 degrees, which is fine for a pre-press. And so you can see the steam coming off.
Pre-press the shirts so the steam, so it gets all the moisture and steam out of the shirt.
But I'm gonna actually press both sides. Then I'm gonna do a center fold. I'll show you what that does. What that's gonna do is it's actually gonna help me so I can line up the design on the shirt almost perfectly down the center. Can you put up, all right on my left hand here, you can actually feel the collar. You don't want the collar being pressed because it actually will leave an indent or mark on the shirt. I guess it really doesn't matter in the long run, but while you're, if you're giving a shirt to a customer, the last thing you want to do is give them that shirt with a crease, like right where the neckline is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the shirt, I go collar to collar, I line up the shoulders, the sleeves, I'll turn it sideways, and I'll actually line up the bottom here. What this will do is hopefully this will give me a center right down the middle of the shirt. I can feel that it's off, so I'm going to go back and redo it. I mean, it already has a center line, but I'm going to make a new one just so it's nice and pronounced. I'm kind of finicky when it comes to this. I like to try to make sure it's right where I need it to be. Can't see it. There we go. I'm feeling a bump in here. These smaller shirts are a bitch to do. Sorry, we'll edit that part out. Why I'm getting a crease inside the shirt. I never have
this with small shirts. I mean, big shirts.
Pressure either. There we go. Alright, so we're going to do the back of the shirt first on this. Now, rule of thumb tells you that you want to go 4 inches down from the collar line, and that includes on the back. And right here I can feel the collar line. So I'm going to pull this up right to the collar line. And I'm going to straighten everything out. And we're going to do the big logo right on the back of the shirt. And if you can see the crease, there's actually a crease that goes right down the center here, right where I just ironed. We're going to take our image, which is a pretty big image. And because I have that center line, that crease line, I can actually tell where this image should go. Every once in a while you'll see me pull out a straight edge or a ruler, because I'll measure from here to here and then here to here to make sure it's centered. And I'm also going by the butt of the spider and then the teeth of the spider on this design. There's something called the Teflon sheet. And what the Teflon sheet does... Where is the Teflon sheet? We have like 3 of them and I can't find any of them. Luckily our machine has a Teflon sheet built into it, but we like to use the Teflon sheet. Right up here is the Teflon sheet. We like to, because it kind of like regulates some of the heat into the shirt. But what we're going to do is I'm going to press it without it.
Still at 265. It's still going up.
Oh, it's still, the temperature's still going up, so I have a couple seconds to look for it. It's right here. Teflon sheet will actually eat some of the heat from it. I can put it on there. Alright, so we're putting this on here. And we're going to wait for a few seconds. It's at 275. Like I said, the temperature has to come up to about 315. 320 is the ideal temperature. With the easy peel, normally it's a hot to cool peel. The thing about this though is that if you start to have pull up, you peel it slow because you're gonna make sure that it's not lifting up on the shirt. But we'll get to that when we get to that far. Right now we're at 287 and still climbing. So we'll wait till it gets to 315 and we'll start right back up again. Edit this part. Okay, so now we're at temperature. We're going to click it down. And we're going to wait. It's 15 seconds, which is pretty quick compared to some of the other materials that we use. And it's got a really loud, annoying beep. As you can see, the heat so much it actually heats up the Teflon. Never worked with this material, so we're gonna kind of do a slow peel. And it's actually lifting up really nice. No bubbles. It actually looks like it's already set into the fabric, which is what you're looking for. So what we're going to do now...
Save this.
Yep. Right now I'm just doing a little cleanup before I press it again, because it looks like there's some plastic or something in there. Well, that's part of the design. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put the Teflon back, and we're going to do it again. One more press. This time I just hold it down. I'm not doing full pressure, I'm just trying to get a little bit of that heat. That's all. And then usually I only go about 10 to 12 seconds on that. And we're going to flip the shirt over and we're going to do the other side. What we're doing now is we just laid this out. I just went by that center line. It might be a little off, but with the spider logo the way it is, it really doesn't matter a whole lot. And we can either do this in 2 sets. We can
I got
do
that on there.
we can do it where we put this down and then we put on the name afterwards if we wanted to, like right above,
Go on
which
an
I think,
angle. Go on an angle with that, I think. No, the other way. I think that would look cool like that.
I don't know. John's saying it'll look good at an angle. I think that we're gonna press
Just
it.
do it like that.
We're gonna press it and then we're gonna bring the lettering right down to the words. So give me we're gonna do this in 2 settings. So what we'll do is when you're doing a pre-press, where you're doing multiple materials, you don't do it as long. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this at 8 seconds. I don't know what happened there. It looks like it all bunched up. Yeah, I think John's right. I don't think that was enough. It wasn't. So we're gonna actually do a full press on it.
Cigarette in your mouth.
It's a good thing they can't see me on the camera. So we're gonna do a full press on it. We're gonna give it its full time of 15 seconds. Okay. Give it a second. We're gonna let it cool off for just 1 second. And now we're gonna do our pull. And it looks pretty. Alright, so now we're gonna line up our text here. And I'm gonna do it so it touches.
No.
Just like this. We'll show you the reveal in a second. I'm just trying to make sure that the lettering is where I want it. It looks like it is. Might want to come down just a little bit with the
I'd go
key.
up. I don't think you should touch it.
I do. So we're going to do it like this. And then we're going to do a reveal. Once this is done, we're going to do our reveal. So we got 30 more seconds tops to wait for it to see what it's going to look like. Dun, 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 dun,
There's a copyright strike for you.
It can't make out my voice. I know that. I wasn't singing the song. I was kind of just like, hey. So we're going to peel this. And it's just peeling off, so that means I'm going to have to definitely do a reset on that. Okay, let's do this. We're going to cover it with Teflon. We're going to do a 30-second. What did we do last time? Like 12 seconds? Something like that. We're just making sure that the plastic actually melts into the fibers. You actually want to see the image. Okay, so should be good. And what we're going to do now is we're going to show you what the shirt looks like. Are we ready? Okay, here's the front. And this camera really doesn't pick it up, but this has a really cool metallic finish to it. So it says Spider Pat on the front. This is for Patrick. Let's get it level here. Okay, and then this is the back. Really cool, huge spider logo. And again, it's in that silver. It's not a reflective, but it looks really cool. So Pat, I hope you see this and I hope you enjoy watching us make your shirt.